Hello. Thank you for joining. I'm so happy that you're here at Lively Living with Lydia. Happy New Year. I know that, 2016 pretty much has a bad rap at this point, but we're here in 2017, and I am just excited to be here with you, promoting and kind of sharing all things health, wellness, and positive vibes. So, yes, 2016 definitely had a lot of rough moments and, you know, tough times, but you're here. And so that's amazing. And, cheers to 2017 being a happier and healthier life. So, pretty much I've just basically been called to kind of to do this about 2 months ago. I made an attempt at doing some YouTube videos and it just didn't stick. And so about November, yeah, so around that time, November, I decided to just do daily Facebook lives and on gratitude, which was completely outside of my comfort zone. But I did it, and I'm so grateful that I did. It was a really good experience. And so, I think it helped so that I'm not as, kind of nervous about doing this. So I was a bit more open. And so, what was kind of speaking to me with this was, you know what, like going back to YouTube and doing weekly videos, especially around this time, a new year, people have a lot of resolutions, things that they want to work on. A lot of people are struggling with their health, and so it was just kind of speaking to me like, you need to find a way to promote health and wellness in a way that people can digest it and kind of connect and relate and offer, insights or just kind of sharing some of my personal journey or things that I've learned along the way that may be helpful. So, I'm a registered nurse and holistic health coach. Um, I went to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, IIN, for health coaching, and I've been a nurse since 2008. So, but aside from that, I've had my own health struggles, and so years of health struggles. So I have lupus and celiac disease, and I've had high blood pressure and obesity. I've been obese. I have had, well, I have degenerative disc issues. I've had really, um, rough situations with my back before. I've had my gallbladder removed, high inflammation levels, elevated liver enzymes, skin rashes, all kinds of neat things. Not really, but let's see, on a lot of medications to try to help manage the symptoms. And it was just kind of like I was on this thing where it was just like, okay, go to the doctor, get more medications, things are staying the same. And I was like, okay, something's got to change. I have kids, I have things that I want to do. I need to be able to live and thrive and not just take a medication and kind of sit and be limited. So I had to figure out how I can make some change and transformation in my life. I've always been that person who was drawn to the story of the underdog where someone had some struggle or adversity and they were able to overcome that. I love those stories. And so I kind of tried to figure out, okay, how can you hack into some of that? What are some of the things, that those people did? How did they think? How did they live? What did they eat? Kind of all of those things. And so I went on a venture to go ahead and start looking at some of that. And that's kind of where it all began. And so I decided in 2011, the day after my birthday, to commit to being on the journey. And so I started with going more plant-based, vegetarian with with the food that I was eating, because what I found in some of the research that I did was that the people who were eating, because I specifically was setting out to naturally reduce my inflammation. So what I was finding at the research at that time was that being more plant-based, eating vegetarian was very helpful for that. And so that's kind of where my journey started. And so I learned a whole lot along the way, but started getting really good benefits pretty quickly. Anyway, so through that, that inspired me to then figure out, okay, you need to let people know that they can live happier and healthier lives, and so, yes, the food was very, very helpful, but it's not the whole picture. There's so much more, and so you'll learn some of that along the way. Um, but I was like, okay, how can I figure out a way to kind of share some of this information? And eventually that's where I was guided towards the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, IIN, a 1-year health coaching program, that I did that kind of helps so that you're able to, learn how to give people some of this information. And so that's what I did. And so now I have, not only my personal experience through the struggles that I've been through, but that the Institute for Integrative Nutrition training as a health coach, as well as my experience as a registered nurse in healthcare for about 11 years. I think it's been overall, because I was in healthcare before I became a registered nurse. So anyway, so so I'm really excited to be here and see how I could add some value and, just tips, strategies, insights, things that can maybe help you along your journey. I'm definitely not one to kind of promote anything that like, oh, here's a quick magical fix. No, no, no. So I did the work, real work from the inside out. And so I think that, that's where you're going to really get it to stick so that it's consistent. There's a lot you have to learn when you're struggling with your health, especially depending on how your environment is around you. And so it's definitely a process that takes time, and I encourage you to definitely be patient and kind with yourself through the journey. And the thing is, like, try to make it fun. So I always try to make as much of it as fun as possible. And I mean, really it is. Like, I'm feeling better. I was stuck on a couch for a long time, even though I'm on the couch now. I'm not really stuck here. I can do a lot of things, like I really can. I'm thriving. I'm serious. Anyway, so, like, I'm not limited and restricted like I was in the past. And so, I actually thrive now, which is amazing. And there's so many things that I'm able to do and I'm doing now versus what things looked like in the past, not only physically, but how my labs were, how my energy level was, what my mindset was, because I had myself in the box. Oh, I have lupus, I have this, I have that, I can't do this, I can't do that, I won't do that, kind of, stuck. And thankfully through all the growth and the transformation and everything, that changes and that grows. And so that's definitely one thing that stuck with me. Like, there's always learning and growing, and so that never ends, and that's amazing because there's always an option. So I kind of use the word, I like hacks, but there's always a way to try to figure something out so that it can be a little easier, a little better, so that things can move in a happier, healthier direction. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I just wanted to kind of like get on and say hello and Happy New Year. And I am so excited that we are going to be, connected weekly here on Lively Living with Lydia. And I have a lot of different things that, I want to touch on, some ideas that I have, thinking about what we're going to be, what I'll be talking about and sharing on and all of that. I'm also, one of my kind of intentions for 2017 is to get a little bit more creative. I want to tap into my creative side, and I definitely think that, tapping into your creative self and your passions and all that, that's totally a part of whole health. So that's all a part of you. So that's really important. And so my intention is to really, get involved with these videos in the aspect of like, technology. And see, I just moved that because it's on a tripod. That's pretty cool because I didn't even have a tripod and I just got one. And my phone's hooked up to this thing. Like, that's really awesome. Okay, so just real quick, I'm a girl who like has a hard time working remotes and DVD players. So where I'm going is, my plan is to eventually, work on things like lighting and sound and add some effects and try to make it, jazzy and fun. And so when when this was kind of speaking to me, the idea was, go ahead and make a commitment to weekly YouTubes in the name of health and wellness for 1 year. So we'll see where it goes. So right now, that's what I'm committing to, weekly post. Again, planning on Sunday, health, wellness, tips, insights, all that good stuff. And so, but as this goes along, I do plan on, exploring some of the technology aspect of some of the recording and sound effects and all those other things, because I just think that it would be fun and a creative outlet too, and it'll be a challenge for myself. And so these days I like to lean into challenges and again figure out more ways to learn and grow. So anyway, with that, I will say, okay, today after being out late last night for New Year's Eve, which was nice at family, nothing too jazzy, but still late. And the night before, kind of hanging out with family late. Yeah, so now I'm just on hydrate, kind of chill mode, looking forward to, to the rest of the week and just really tackling 2017. All right, well, I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Again, Lively Living with Lydia. Subscribe if you haven't already. Please, feel free to share and tell a friend or family member about it if you think that it would be something that they would be interested in. I look forward to touching base soon. Thanks. Bye.